last episode, I talked in detail, like pretty vivid detail about a depression and the thoughts I was having. You were telling me that you also have experienced depressions in your life. What are some things you have done that have helped you come out of depressions? Because as far as I know, unless I don't know, you haven't been depressed for a while. Every time I talk to you, you seem to be pretty positive. So you seem to be in a good place now. What are some things that you've done in the past to help you get out of those states of mind?
I kind of disconnected from people for a little bit. I mean, even though that seems like it would make depression worse.
Seems like the depression itself.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think that's kind of what helped me, is kind of just sort of keep to myself, stay at home, kind of just self-reflect, kind of think about things. Think about self-reflection for me is like, it's not pretty, right? When you're looking inwards and criticizing yourself, like we don't want to be criticized by others, let alone criticize ourselves.
Yeah.
So you sit through that because there's some decisions I made in my in the past put me on a different path. So it kind of put me down this like hole of like depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
I had suicidal thoughts and all that stuff, and so I obviously therapy was like the obvious one, but I never went on any kind of medication. But I just kind of just detached myself and just sort of like focused on me and kind of what I need to do in order to maintain my mental health, emotional health too, because that's something that I couldn't do with other people constantly, around me.
Influences, like being
Right.
influenced. Kind of like we were talking about the
not
free will thing. It's like if you have too many people like giving you ideas, it's like you don't know what your voice is, your own voice,
Yeah, and then I would talk to people obviously about it, friends and stuff, they would still like, talk to me and give me advice and things like that, but only I know what I'm going through, so I can take what they're telling me and sort of like apply it, accordingly. I had a friend of mine that told me that, there's chemical imbalances and there's situational, so sometimes you need those, you need the medication for the chemical imbalance. Sometimes it's just situational. So you're in a situation where you just don't know how to handle things.
Right.
And that could send you down this path of depression. So I think that's kind of where I was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm 100% like I never get sad or anything. Like that's impossible.
Oh, yeah.
We all sit there and we get a little depressed every now and then,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. But I think I'm able to identify and manage it where it sort of doesn't get to that point where it's like those dark thoughts and, like I'm not worthy. I'm, feeling that self of like being worthless, because, and then when you have the wrong people around you, then that's even worse because then you feel lonely with people around you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be lonely and
alone. I've said that before.
Happy.
I've gone through relationships where I was like really upset to leave them, but I'm like, I felt so lonely with certain romantic partners that I'm like, if I'm going to feel lonely, I might as well be alone. So at least it lines up with each other.
Exactly. That's the worst thing. If you're with someone, friends, family, romantic partners, doesn't matter what it is. If you're with someone and then you feel lonely, like that's literally like, that fucking like, that would like rip my heart apart. Like literally. But, whoops. But yeah, so I feel like that's kind of like one of the reasons I chose to just kind of like detach. Not like I went into like a complete hole, but I started like picking and choosing who I wanted to spend time with rather than just spend time with anyone just because I was feeling alone.
Right.